Hi, my name is Andy. I'm juror number 8, and this is my Ponderosa. Andy!
Welcome back, Andy. Oh,
Fuck.
dog.
How are you
Killed me.
feeling? Tell us all about
A little
it.
better.
Hungry?
Oh, hold on.
Isn't it great once you get food?
Yeah.
Double freaking donuts really well.
Yeah.
Oh, feels good. That was super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close on that fire.
Oh, fuck, so close. Yeah.
So close.
She aced that fire making challenge. I don't know how anyone could beat her.
Yeah, I
about as quick.
Yeah.
You're
I
right
think
behind
I
it.
actually had an ember in there that I didn't realize was in there deep. Just actually lit my table on fire. I don't know if you saw that. There was sticks on my table just burning. I was like,
Oh, my
shit.
fire went down.
I don't know. I was like, it was kind of important.
Yeah.
You feeling pretty good about your game though?
Yeah, I mean, medium. Like my game was not that good. Like,
Can I ask one question? You were holding the tea. Were you throwing that? Or you really genuinely didn't see?
No, I fucked up.
Oh.
Okay, my bad.
I want to make sure, because I was like, how do you
Damn.
spell immunity?
Like so bad. No, like when they because I
Wow.
had immunity, 'tis yours. I had immunity, it's yours. It's all yours. I had everything. I had I was like, this is it, and I literally was sitting there like tapping the tea, like, how the fuck would this going?
Oh,
You know?
my
And I didn't I thought I had immunity written.
Because I was like, maybe he's got a deal with someone that, or like all of them, that he's going to go with them. Like, I was trying to figure out if you were throwing it. Because
That was one of my many blunders throughout this entire experience.
all right.
We've all had a few.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
So what questions do you have for
Yeah,
us
what do you
to
wanna know?
help you? Because you're going to have the least amount of
What's
information.
everybody feeling? Like, what's the...
What is something that you need to know right now about some of the people still in the final three that you need information from us? 'Cause we've got the tea.
Yeah.
Collected a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I to be honest with you, like, I'm somewhat of an emotional voter. Like, strategy plays into it.
Sorry, spider. There you go.
I know. Fuck my hair. Yeah, so I mean, I guess. I'd be curious to hear from y'all, like, what moves you saw, because if you look at my voting record and what happened in the game, I did not know a lot of what was happening when it went down.
Who do you feel like knew the most? Do you have a read on who you think knew the most?
To me, it was Justin Delaney pushing everything, and not disparately. Like, I think that they were coming to a consensus and then pushing it out. I mean, they're going to have to tell that story about between the two of them, who's coming up with these plans, because I have no idea.
It's gonna be super hard to separate their games. I think.
I will say, like, on day one, Jess came out, to me, in my mind, as, like, stone cold. Like, there was a moment where, when we're going to vote out, first vote, we're going to vote out Sam, and she's like, Sam starts, like, kind of getting emotional and crying, and, doesn't want to go, and my heartstrings were pulled. I was like, is there, like, I was starting to think, is there, like, another option? And then, like, I kind of, like, Jess is so nice. She seems so, like, loving and caring. I was like, what do you think? She's like, we're going Sam. I was like, oh, damn. She's like, why would we do anything else? That's stupid. We're going Sam. I was like, well, good for you. Like, and I think that she brought that mentality through the whole game.
I think the only time she got emotional was my vote. Like, that was the time.
And
right.
And there. I could see it right there.
And so it was funny because, like, that's only what tipped me off that it wasn't you, that it was me. Because she's sitting beside me, like, just breathing heavy, and, like, I was like, is Jess crying? Like, I was like, this is crazy. It's me. Like, I know this. But that's how she played, was stone cold. She went into every vote knowing where she wanted to vote, and she stuck to it, and she never faltered. Even my vote, she came to me, she goes, we're voting Andy here. And I was like, no, we're not. And she was, like, unmoved. There was nothing that I was going to say that was going to change her mind. So, I agree with that.
I know you probably maybe know the least about Matt's game, so I just want to throw a couple things out that I don't know if you know.
Well, do you want me to explain, like, my view of it first?
Yeah, sure.
So, because, like, that last tribal was, like, a beautiful butterfly moment. Because I think Matt in his game was dealt a raw hand towards the end, right? He comes in down the numbers on the merge. And I think he knew he had a strong social game, and I think he also knew that he Now I think like I didn't know that he knew that, and I hope he can articulate that. But yeah, so like seeing that flip, seeing that okay, like I now like can do a risk analysis on this. These are my options. This is what I'm doing. This is the reason I'm doing it. And there were a lot of pivotal things at the game that were Matt's decision, right? Like it was Delaney and Jess saying this is what we should do. But Matt was the swing, and Matt made the decision of who should go where. And I think that actually, I think maybe, I hope you all saw that too, because that was something that I noticed is that actually, while it seemed like they were coming up with plans, Matt was choosing to allow that to be the plan. And that felt it had its own strength. So I'm hoping he can articulate. Like I said, self-awareness.
What do you know about the idol?
Yeah, I want to finish. So the last vote before the pre-merge, where Trisha left, Matt actually gave me an idol in our 3-3 and said, Marilyn and I are going to vote for you, play this. And he articulated that Trisha, and we agreed on it, but he articulated Trisha's probably the right person to go because we felt like we could work with Will and Delaney.
So you don't like him?
Oh, no, I like him.
Respect.
He's masterful. He's masterful.
So-
Yeah, and I do respect that.
I think when he's talking about calculated risks, to give an ally an idol, that was a risk he took rather than keeping it for himself.
But also during management.
Yes.
And right? I think it's also dangerous for him to play an idol for me if he knows I'm the vote versus me playing it for myself. He then also not that it worked, but the knowledge of power advantage, he gave me that as well. So he gave me 2 advantages to try to save me 2 rounds in a row.
And then for my vote out, I got my second shot in the dark from Matt during that tribal.
So I think he's taking a lot of calculated risks throughout the game that not everyone I think knows. And I hope he articulates it and that actually tells us why.
Just like listening to him on the trial, he's going to be able to.
Yeah, I think
he's like holding back.
I was waiting. Like that moment just revealed that we're ready for this. Like I think we're going to get what we want.
Yep.
And I think Matt is a hot contender right now.
Yeah.
That last tribal council felt like a mask off.
Yes. Yes.
I literally just went,
Because I don't think he told us about his statistician job. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
No.
He said public health.
And
He's like, I'm
notice
working
how
at camp.
his verbiage was very different in this tribe than all the
It was.
all the other ones were like, I'm just here, or like pew pew pew, and like all this. And now he's like, I'm a statistician. I knew what I was doing. I'm risk taking. I'm doing this. He's got more to say at Final Tribal.
Oh, and by the way,
That's
I
not
know
all
how
he's
to make
got.
fire.
And he
Like,
warmed
that
us
was
up.
awesome.
He warmed us up for what was to come.
So,
Yes.
Can you give us
Delaney for a second?
I was about to say, can you give us your viewpoint on Delaney's idol and what happened during that vote? Did she find the idol? Did someone give it to her?
So, I mean, like, I don't talk too much about my game, but my game was like a game in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what the fuck was happening ever. As you can see by my like, I'm playing this guy. I'm gonna play this advantage. I'm gonna, yeah. So, I think she had shown the idol to Matt. Matt knew she had the idol. So Matt and I guess you voted for Jess as well, right?
Yeah, Matt took the action rate line.
Because I still wanted to go for Delaney. Because even though knowing she had an idol, I was like, fuck it. Like, I have immunity. I want to take a shot. So I still voted for Delaney. And I talked to Jess about also voting for Delaney. So I thought that was how the vote was going to go. So then there would be 2 Delaney, 2 Jess. If it's an idol that Jess goes, that's fine. Like that for me, that was all fine. But my understanding of it was that, those 2 would decide to work together and go for Mary Ellen. But I think Matt knew about the idol, and that's why he pushed Jess. So that was a moment where, that was a ballsy call by Delaney. Like that was as you say, like not only give it, but like playing at that point where she knew that there should be a target on her.
Yeah.
And seeing if they know I have an idol. Because in my mind, that was why I so wanted to go for Delaney, because it was like, okay, she wouldn't tell me she has an idol unless she has an alternate plan. Right?
Can I ask you a quick question too?
Sure.
So you voted for Dan the round Dan went?
No.
Oh, you didn't. Okay. That clears that.
So Matt voted.
So Matt voted for you.
Yeah, Matt voted for you. Yeah.
Okay. So then
I don't know. Every single one. If they do my voting booth stuff, I'm like, well, here I go. I'm fucking up again. Like I'm wrong. Wrong again.
Was there any way, other than my vote, that you voted correctly?
Correctly.
And then they stopped.
And then,
there.
and then it started going wrong.
So
well, you didn't even get to vote that round.
I will
My
say
round.
for Delaney, she was vulnerable like those last couple rounds coming into the final tribal, and she was the most visible, like talked about threat. She was so obviously social. She was like so obviously like a challenge threat, and she was still able to navigate those and have people protect her.
Yeah.
Like when people were actively gunning for her when she should have gone.
So we've got Delaney as the active target right up front. We've got Jess and Matt that are playing these kind of behind the scenes games. The difference between Jess and Matt is that Jess is still playing very coldly and very calculatedly, whereas Matt is playing more social, more friendly,
more
opened up,
emotionally, I think.
more emotionally.
Yeah.
So all three played very different games.
I think that Jess played socially and emotionally, but I think that her decision making was calculated.
Was more calculated.
I don't think that she played a cold game at all.
And Jess hasn't had any of these advantages. She did win one immunity, but she's not navigated this game without any of that stuff, right? So
and had an idol played on her,
which is good social.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I agree.
So I think I love big flashy plays. I love big moves. I think that is a part of the game. But there's also something to be said for someone that can get to the end without having to do any of that. Because it means they're playing the right strategic and social game, and they've got the right connections, which is it's really cool to see that you can get to the end without a ton of immunities, like some people win, or idols and advantages and all that stuff.
And with Jess, like the last day, she really started being like a lot more like openly, like emotional and like opening up, and like so like some of us later jurors, I don't know if they can attest to this too, kind of saw that like softer side to her.
Yeah, my first conversation, I got nothing from it. I was like, I know I'm on your hit list. I'm not going to try anymore. So anything else, Andy, that we can help you with to help? I mean, obviously, I hope we're all going to go in with an open mind and really listen to all three and vote the way that we think we want to vote. But is there anything else info that we can give you on?
No, I mean, if anyone has anything else they think they should know.
I mean, so like at multiple points in this game, Jess was the person I considered myself like the closest and most strategically aligned to, and it wasn't really until like around Will's vote that I sort of started realizing that like she was not prioritizing me. So like it, like, and I don't know if other people have that same experience where it's like she was sort of able to like convince me that like she had my best interest in mind.
Yeah, agreed.
It is kind of fascinating how when we're talking about her being cold and knowing exactly what she wants, how I don't know if she ever got punished for being very defiant in getting what she wants. Like, did she ever get backlash for that?
No.
Not any. Like, that is a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
To just get what you want, be blunt about it, and not be like, screw her, let's vote her out.
Because I feel like that was part of my detriment. I was
not getting what you want.
Excuse me.
I was trying to protect Andy, and I think that's what kind of backfired on me. Whereas Jess was like, this is what I want, and if you don't want to do it, then I'm just going to come at you. And so I think Jess played a great game. I think that she was strategic. I think she was social. But I think she tried to play, where she wasn't trying not to be as attached to people and making those right moves at the right time.
You always want to make the good move, not the flashy move. Not the interesting move, but the good move.
Does Delaney's fire-making win, does that help or change anybody's hierarchy at all?
Well, she should talk to me afterwards, so that's not helpful.
She should talk to you afterwards?
Did she?
I mean, no, she was she said something about Delaney's dress. I think she was joking. Was that that?
Yeah.
Well, it was not in any animosity. She was not being mean. She was being funny.
We talked about her being kind of the most public threat out of the three, and showing that that was her way to get to the end, that she had to put up or shut up in the end. She had to get herself there by her own will, or she would not be there because of her game this time. Which is fine, it's just different, and that's the route she had to take.
And that goes back to Matt making that decision, right?
Yeah.
He's talking about calculated risks. That's a risk to put the two firemakers in a fire-making challenge because it really ups both of their games in one way or another. And so he then takes that risk to put her in there, win, when she's already the massive target, already obviously jury's looking at her as the one to potentially win. So does that up his game?
To win.
Yeah.
I think if you won that fire making challenge,
you had a better shot.
Yeah.
I think, as you've said, right? Like, I think from the outside, your game has appeared fairly messy, and you've admitted to it. And I think your self-awareness of it helps you.
You got a lot of nods from us when you were talking at Final
Yeah.
Council.
Your articulation was spot on during title count.
Yeah. So I do think I think if you could build a case around why your messy gameplay actually was helpful or strategic in a way, then I think you had a shot.
It's when you did immunity.